Recording.
Got it. All right.
Wow, people can see all this magic happening.
That describes your prompt.
All right.
On your device,
Tell me when we're live.
pick words to build.
Did we do this? I had to pick words.
And then tap submit.
It's recording. We're not I'm not live streaming it.
Now it's changed
Do you
your
need me
mind.
to
No,
set
I
that
meant,
up?
are we, is it open now?
It should be open.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to just start by saying welcome to everybody for the first ever Author Mayhem, the horror edition. My name is Jessica. I'm Community Engagement Specialist at Syosset Library. My librarian co-host, who actually does not have her,
She put
does
a
not have
photo
her
of
camera on, but
myself
she's
up. I
here.
don't have a video.
Oh, time is ticking.
Is
Hurry.
Stacy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Stacy. I'm a reader services librarian at the Syosset Public Library. I love horror and love making new friends. Come hang out with us virtually.
Is person.
All right, so this is how this is going to go. Right now, we're going to watch our creators play this game.
Everyone in the audience too.
The audience can interact with the players through chat and Q&A. However, I must make it known that this is a fun-friendly event. Any semblance of hate speech, racism, or abusive language will have you removed from the event, which is not why we're here. We're here to watch some authors be goofy. So we'll take a few breaks for some Q&A and for the authors to introduce themselves. So for now, sit back and enjoy.
Robert.
You can always hit skip to get a new sentence with new words.
Does that mean Amy didn't put in things? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I don't know how to put things in. I haven't never
Put
played.
up on your screen. Yeah.
Typing guesses is totally free.
Okay.
No hidden fees. Just go ahead and type something.
I don't know. I need to watch someone else do it. Like I'm clicking on the little faces here and nothing is
You don't need to
happening.
be this careful. Submit your sentence and move on to the next.
Oh, I guess I can't type it in. Like I don't know.
Do
Yeah,
we
to
wanna-
choose the words.
But I don't see any words. I see they're blankety blank.
I'm still guessing.
Oh, it's not giving you two
Oh,
columns
so
of words?
The
It won't let you choose. Everyone else, I think, right now is choosing to.
We're guessing because it's just a person. That's all we
But
know.
what do? Are you typing it in or are you clicking on cards?
Well, I clicked words for my thing that I picked, but now I'm guessing for yours.
You might have ran out of time to.
Yeah, I
Put in
think you
words.
didn't
Yeah,
pick the words.
I think you were doing the intro. All right, it's okay.
Oh, I'll stop.
Almost time. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be a druggy emoji. It doesn't quite get all the characters clearly.
That was good, Elisa.
Never feels great.
Especially because you're visual.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, he is a blankety blank.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Well, this at all.
Mine's terrible.
That's awesome.
Okay, Elisa.
Freest thing.
Okay. Okay, hope I catch on.
It's a flat
Hi,
feet.
Anna A. Thank you for coming.
Hello.
I think I
Flat beat.
misunderstood the direction.
That's okay.
I still don't know how to pick cards. Oh well, it's awkward.
Crocodile. I like that. Right.
But how are you guys, like, where do you see that? I don't see where.
What's the thing? What thing is Alyssa describing? Is the question?
Me and Christina are on the same page, yo.
I'm doing it on my phone, so it's different.
Yeah,
I'm
it
doing,
might
I'm
be
doing it on
better.
my phone.
Elisa,
I'm doing
where
it
was
on my
it on your
laptop.
screen? Elisa, where was it on your screen?
So that could be it.
So I
If you use two,
Make guesses.
Yeah.
if you have like a separate device,
Doobie-doo.
let's see.
Bum, 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 bum,
It
bum.
should, if you have it in a separate tab, it should show you. Unless the Zoom went full screen, it should show you any prompts. of what
Yeah.
you'd
Oh,
be able
maybe you have
do.
to make it full
presenter.
screen. Hold on.
It generates the specimen surface.
Hmm.
I like this music.
Yeah.
Were you able to find it, Amy?
This is Blather Round.
No, I'm doing it on my laptop. Maybe that's
Generates the
the
specimen.
issue.
If you
Long left.
minimize the Zoom screen, you would probably see it.
Minimize it
Yeah.
so it at least shows you the like
It's always
little
a
box.
fungus, Robert. Always blame the fungus.
It will not like
The
stick
legacy.
Oh.
Seconds left.
No.
Okay, I think
Well,
I
that's
caught
Oh,
on.
wait, it says. Oh.
Is anyone else doing it on their laptop, or you're all doing it on your phone?
A spatula.
A spatula. I'm doing it on my phone.
Didn't win this one
I
specifically.
could find a different browser if it's not working. That might be it.
Oh yeah, maybe I have to do it in
Oh,
Chrome.
here's
I don't
mine.
like Chrome.
You're
But...
guessing a place.
I'm just trying to think of how to make it easier.
I'm trying to think. So if you have
Rolling
Zoom minimized and you have your internet browser open, you
Yeah, I
should be
use
able to have like
Firefox.
you should be able to have like
Minimize
Zoom
Zoom.
minimized where you see. Let me see if I could do.
Chicago.
I don't want to hit leave.
Each way you
Yeah, that was a bad sentence. I'm gonna give you more.
Exit full screen.
This is the crowd garden.
Okay, so if you have it minimized,
that was
you
a
should
bad
see the
use of
little
word.
screen of what
Ooh, this is
Jessica
good.
screen share, and you should be able to have that and the tab up.
Oh, screen
Same
share.
vibe as Emperor's
Yeah, well,
Palace.
you should see
Well, I
her
have to
screen
hit
share of the
continue.
game.
Now that would stop the
You
screen
get
share. I
points
don't
for
want to
being
do
More
that.
guesses.
No, if you have Zoom minimized, so you'd see the tiny little window.
Oh, how do I minimize it again? Sorry.
I don't know why that it's so much.
If you are you in full screen right now?
Of my hand.
I don't think
Come
so.
on, there are no bad guesses.
So
Except Lauren.
far-
If you minimize, it's like the little
Do I
little
do
like dash,
use
but you can also
standard
do
or
the
side by side speaker or side by side gallery?
Oh, it's
Oh, no,
separate,
that's
it's
gonna be
separate from
about
that.
the
Like you want to
panelist.
minimize
You guys are all in the wrong country, by the way.
the entire Zoom.
If you do,
Oh.
you should be able to minimize Zoom and then
Did I get
have
it? Did I guess?
Firefox on the side.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
nice.
Oh.
Good
So you
job.
should be able to,
Second.
like, if Zoom's not in full screen, you should have the little dash to completely minimize, the
And everyone
Nicely
the square to
done.
make it maximized, or the X to completely close out of Zoom. You want to do the middle one, which is
category
the
is
square.
person.
I'm ready.
Ooh, person.
Let's see. Right now it says view standard.
Let's get the presentation started.
Yeah, use standard, and then you should be able to see on the top right the options to minimize, maximize,
Tom Hanks.
and the X. You should see that on the top right.
Oh, Pee-wee, nice job.
Oh, Pee-wee.
Curtis, good job.
I love Pee-wee.
Are you guys using Chrome? Maybe that's the issue. I'm using.
No, we're all using our
I'm on
phones.
my
We're all
phone.
using our
They're
phones.
phones.
I'm on Chrome.
They are renowned.
Oh, I'm using Firefox.
Art.
Maybe it
Art.
doesn't work in.
Are you on Zoom? Are you on the Zoom platform, or are you Zoom launching it through your browser?
Launching it through my
Wrong
browser.
guess.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
So if you just pull up you have to open a new window then in Firefox, and then you should be able to do it. To have the side by
Oh,
side
I
on
see.
it.
Guess here. Oh, now I'm embarrassed. All right.
It's
now
fine.
worry
It
about
happens. It happens.
All right. Thank you.
Anytime.
Whoa.
They're more famous than Pee Wee Herman. Sorry, Pee Wee.
Oh,
Oh, Elisa, I think got it.
ooh.
Amy, there you go.
Now I finally got the hang of it. Sorry.
Going for
The
sweet guy.
guy.
Mm.
The sweet guy.
We got-
Oh,
What? Keanu Reeves.
oh, I got two of them.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Neo.
That was good.
Awesome.
I better put on a bid because y'all are getting success everywhere.
Fully understand this game and fully.
Hey, Robert's
Category
turn.
is thing.
Hey.
It's a terrible.
Terrible specimen.
Here we go.
little background when I was trying to figure out what game we should be doing. There was no competition.
Oh, okay.
Spies is
Oh my God,
funny.
I love it. Face hugger, I love it.
Pest dispenser.
I took a shot in the dark there.
Talk about
Taxidermy cat.
Ooh.
Okay. I see it now.
God, being vengeful.
It's bigger than pest dispenser.
That's a marvelous sentence.
Thanos.
Thanos.
Oh my God.
Oh, I know. It hangs at nighttime.
Ooh.
Bad.
It's nothing like it.
Oh my God.
Hangs in the night.
Oh, satellite.
What a sweet little sentence. So small, so cute. Time is running out.
It's bigger than Dracula. Well, I mean, lots of things are bigger than Dracula.
Yeah.
Quite simply, it's a glowing nighttime.
Lulu.
Time is almost up.
Moon.
Somebody
I said moon already.
Yep, you already said moon.
Ooh, a glowworm. Ooh, a UFO.
Let's see. What is it?
Full moon. Oh.
Someone said moon, though, right?
Oh, nailed
They
that.
didn't say full moon. Okay.
It's about learning.
Oh man.
Let's end this round
All
on
right, good luck with this one.
You got this, Curtis. You can add more.
It's a yummy, wonderful childhood. Here we go again.
A yummy, wonderful childhood. Oh man.
Frolic?
Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory?
Possibly.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of that. I had to remember the full name.
Hershey Park.
So much meal.
Ooh, I want to go to Hershey Park.
Square in the grass. Nice.
Yeah. Getting literary.
Ooh.
Wow, that's a jumbo sentence.
Street fair.
Let's see.
Were you frolic in the enclosure?
Similar. Amusement park.
Yummy, wonderful childhood.
Oh.
So not circus.
Ooh.
Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory.
Let's see.
Ooh, good one.
An energetic enclosure.
Yeah,
It's close to McDonald's.
Oh.
Close to McDonald's.
Chuck E. Cheese?
Ooh.
Oh, did someone get it?
Yes.
I got it!
Oh,
Yes, we've got this!
Nice.
nice.
You guessed right!
That was good.
Well done.
Wow, awesome.
That.
I didn't think it was going to give me the option to say anything about McDonald's there.
Shout out to
McDonald's,
the
I knew it
folks
was
in the
play place.
middle. Y'all are my people.
I only have 50 points.
But you had some of the most entertaining
Double the
answers.
points this time.
So you get like
Points.
bonus.
It's like Jeopardy, double Jeopardy. But it's
Oh,
not-
sweet.
Oh, this is good.
So since we can't pause, I guess after the rounds are over, we'll do introductions and other stuff.
The least scary.
Okay.
Now that we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
figured it out. I was so embarrassed.
No, don't worry
No,
about it.
don't
It
worry about
happens.
it.
It's not easy.
All right, thanks.
I'm ticking. Hurry, hurry.
We did this on our last day of school with my coworkers. We did like a staff meeting.
Oh, that's
Okay.
fun.
I'll pick
Amy,
Yeah.
you haven't picked one yet. Are you picking one, Amy?
What do I
Write a
pick?
sentence.
Oh, you didn't pick anything.
Oh, sorry.
Roll the list.
Let's
up and down.
see.
You might have
Describing.
more words than you think.
Ooh. Just over here vibing to the music.
Yeah, it's hypnotic. It's like feel good.
I hope everybody's enjoying watching us play this game.
I know, right?
This is intense.
It really is. I was
Pressure's
gonna be like
on.
super competitive,
Hurry.
but I'm doing terrible.
You're going
All
now.
right, Elisa.
All right.
Uh-oh.
The category is play, and this is the
Right.
Flip
Game
TV.
on.
It's the happy zone.
Oh, Leah, thank you for coming, Leah. You're so sweet. It is fun. It is a lot of fun. Ooh.
Welcome, Leah.
Adventureland.
Oh, Adventureland, a Long Island place.
Yeah, we're on Long Island, so.
Taking interest in the night.
Ooh.
Oh.
I know. See if I can spell it.
Planetarium.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, someone
I
beat
like
me
that.
to it. Oh well.
I'm thinking it's a haunted house because we all have a happy place there. But
That's
true.
what I was thinking.
It's bigger than
Bigger than
It's
Disney.
bigger than Disneyland.
What?
Wow.
Disneyland.
Taking interest in the night. Happy zone.
Good job, Curtis.
Not wrong.
so much architecture.
Love it.
New York City architecture, yeah.
Oh, Anna, that's a good one. I'm stealing that.
Vessel speakers.
The haunted
Oh,
mansion.
haunted mansion.
Oh, I
Thank
did
you,
say haunted
Anna.
house, but
It's where you take an interest
but it's
in
bigger than Disneyland, and that's not.
Oh, that's true.
Like Las Vegas.
Oh.
Oh.
Las Vegas.
One.
Time is ticking. Hurry.
Someone's
Hurry.
gonna type that. I don't want. Yeah. Vegas.
Vegas. There we go.
Got it. All right. Good
Oh,
job.
wow.
Jessica.
Vegas, baby. Well done.
Nice. All right. I've never been there, but
Oh, I've been to Vegas.
Oh,
You have
really?
to go, Rob.
I figured because if you go when you go at night, you see all the hotels lit up.
Category.
Right, the Bellagio.
that would be
Fountain.
pretty.
Do they
Yeah.
wear that?
I think that would be really pretty.
Incredible house of worship Imogen.
Quite right, but we'll figure this out. Let's see. Oh, this is gonna give it away.
Notre Dame.
New.
Taj Mahal.
Oh, Christina, what's up? House of worship.
It illuminates the thing believed.
It illuminates the thing.
Yeah.
It's
It's a thing, not a place. Look at the clue.
Thing.
Oh.
Huh.
I have no idea.
I know this is hard. And I know what it is, but it's hard. So all right.
Jesus, a statue in Brazil or whatever.
I mean, ooh. I gotta do that. Hold on.
Oh,
How do I? Okay.
Lighthouse.
Shoot. How do I get back? I lost it. I lost the thing to say it's similar to a giant candle because I lost
I
the
wrote
screen.
eternal. I meant eternal.
Eternal
Get your guesses in before this thing wraps up.
Similar to a candle.
I don't know. I'm just a
Yeah.
shot in the dark. Yeah.
This is crazy. I have no idea what this could be.
We're stumped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're all thinking
like
the
a
wrong
Like
religion.
a giant
Eternal
candle and
flame.
eternal flame.
Almost over. Keep guessing.
Oh, let's see if I can spell it.
Bush.
Oh, Lisa, I was just gonna write that.
Menorah, but I was too short.
Oh,
I was thinking
Oh, you
bigger.
got
I
it.
kept thinking
got
big.
it. Yeah.
very bad. Have to.
I have a lot lot of Jewish friends. I'm not Jewish
Holy
myself,
cow.
but
I picked that one when it showed up. I'm like, this will be easy. It was not.
cool.
Category is
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Perfect
Story.
for us writers.
So good.
Oh,
Horrible beast. Okay.
All of them.
Alright.
Oh,
Jaws. And a glorious vegetable.
And the glorious vegetable.
Glorious vegetable.
It's a lot like Frankenstein.
Oh, whoops. I just typed that. Oh well.
One.
World critter.
oh, I know what this is.
syntax.
Tomatoes.
Banicula, that's a good one.
The thing.
It's kind of similar to Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
I got it.
Yes.
Oh,
Nice.
yay! Good job.
That was a good themed one.
That was a
Yeah.
good theme.
Good. It's like
Sure.
it knew.
Nice. Give each other a pat on the back.
I still wished it was Banicula.
Pat on the front.
Banicula's pretty great.
Banicula's awesome.
My kids are big fans.
The category is person.
Okay, a person.
They're wonderful.
Wonderful character.
Let's get the presentation started.
Robert Downey.
I was gonna type. I did it. I would know. What is with it? Tom Hanks
Thank you,
said.
Curtis.
The magic.
Mickey Mouse.
Oh,
Walt Disney.
Penance Teller.
Merlin.
David Copperfield.
They're kind of similar to Pinky Star.
oh, well, there are two of them. Oh.
Dumbledore.
David Blaine.
Somebody got it. Gandalf.
Yay!
Nice.
Congratulations. You have inferred meaning from words arranged in a particular structure.
I'm always thinking of Gandalf.
Always Gandalf.
The category is story.
It's not a bad way to always be thinking, too.
It's
so.
true. It's very
What
true.
would Gandalf do?
Yeah, that's right.
Time to begin.
Not a
Crew.
cool crew.
And a positive sci-fi.
Oh.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's
That
what
one
I
was
was
easy.
typing.
Nice.
That's a quick
Let's
one.
go.
I could just hit enter on that. Ah,
The
Blame my
colorful
Wi-Fi.
crew was the best part. Good
All
job,
right.
Robert. You beat me
Thank
by
you.
a letter.
Oh, you did good. The last presentation is upon us.
Oh my goodness.
But I don't think you picked anything.
It might just randomly assign one then if you don't pick in the.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a
but she
blanky
doesn't know
blank.
what it is.
Oh.
So no one knows what it is?
Jessica, maybe we can talk now because this is
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
so this is a good time to talk. So, for those who are here, welcome. This is, again, our first round of Author Mayhem. This is the horror edition in celebration of Summer Scares, which Becky will tell us all about when she's introducing herself. But we have 6 horror creators here. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves in alphabetical order, starting with Elisa. So please tell us who you are and about your work.
If you don't
Sure.
have
Hi,
to admit
I'm Elisa. I'm a filmmaker and an animator. I just made a horror film. So it's actually my first horror film, but I've loved
Center,
horror for
let's
a long time.
go.
Love animation, love film, so it felt inevitable to finally make a horror film. I actually mostly have done children's animation and worked in children's media, and I've just joked for a long time that I really need to get out of it and do some horror, so it finally
I can tell y'all are good friends.
I'm really
No
pleased to
need
be here.
to
I
type
love horror.
guesses, just
Okay.
quietly enjoying each other's company.
Okay, I guess next, Becky, would you like to introduce yourself and talk about
Sure.
Let's
all the great things you do?
go.
I'll just be brief, but my name is Becky Stratford. I'm a librarian. As Jessica mentioned, I run the Summer Scares program along with my colleague Conrad Stump, which is the Horror Writers Association's initiative to get more horror in all ages of hands of readers. But I'm also an author. I write, first of all, I write major review sources, Book List and Library Journal for horror books. So when you see like starred review in Library Journal, it might be my review. But I'm also the author of the Reader's Advisory Guide to Horror. The 3rd edition is coming out literally any day, sometime before the end of this month. And so it is the 3rd edition. Basically, it's a textbook guide to the genre for library workers. Oh, you're muted, Jessica. You're muted.
There we go.
Jessica, you're muted.
Jessica, you're muted.
Do you want to be unmuted?
I was just about to say, it's actually very appropriate that Curtis won, because Curtis, you're next. Please introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are.
My name is Curtis M Lawson. My biggest accomplishment is winning this game. An author of weird fiction, poetry. I've done some comics, and I host a podcast called Weird Transmissions, where I have discussions about horror and art and music and things like that. And my latest book is a collection called Devil's Night, which came out last year in hardcover, but just came out in paperback and ebook.
Amy, I skipped over you and I apologize. Please tell everybody who you are.
Sure.
And what
Hi.
you do.
Hey, my name is Amy Greck. I'm a horror author. I also write crime fiction. I'm an active member of the Horror Writers Association. I have a lot of stories in current anthologies. I have a story in the One That Got Away anthology. I have a poem in Hell's Mall. And I have a flash fiction piece in Flashes of Hope. I have a couple of novellas circulating with publishers, so that's all I could say about that. And I have a poem coming up in the Under Her Skin anthology next year. So that's me in a nutshell for now.
All right, so let's see if I know my alphabet correctly. That means Christina's next.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you guys. My name is Christina. I write as Casey Griffin, and I've had many short stories published, horror, fantasy, sci-fi, and weird Western, which is one of my favorite little niche subgenres. Published in magazines, anthologies, some podcasts, and a collectible card game. Some of the places my stories have appeared include Andromeda Spaceways magazine, Unnerving magazine, the Tales to Terrify podcast, the Stoker-nominated Frightmare, Women Who Write Horror, and a few other anthologies. I founded the HWA San Diego chapter here in 2016, and I'm currently one of the co-organizers of it. And as far as upcoming publications, I have a horror poem coming out in the HWA Poetry Showcase, Volume 8, and a short climate horror story in another anthology coming out called Field Notes from a Nightmare. That's about it right now.
Rob, you are last, and then we have a question in the Q&A. Last but not least, I should say.
Thank you. My name is Robert Otone, and I'm a writer from New York. And my, like Curtis, I had a collection out last year. I have a copy of it right here because I try to be prepared. Her Infernal Name and Other Nightmares. I also have a copy of Curtis's collection, Devil's Nights, which is just incredible and everyone should pick it up. It was one of my 2 favorites last year and it's just so good. 2 stories in there that I cannot stop thinking about. So pick up Devil's Night, and if you're feeling froggy, pick up Her Infernal Name and Other Nightmares too.
Thank you, Rob.
And I'd like to point out just really quickly, Christina wrote one of my favorite stories ever, Maternal Bond, which I tried to find my copy of that anthology, and I couldn't find it anywhere to hold up. So I'm sorry, Christina, I couldn't find it.
Thank you for the shout out.
So we have some questions. Okay, and we can merge these questions. Both Leah and Anna had questions about how you got into horror. Leah says, what drew each of you to write in the horror genre? And Anna said, how'd you all get into horror? So let's start. Okay, we can, let's start alphabetical again. This time I will not skip over Amy, but we'll start with Elisa.
Sure. Well, like I said before, I actually I'm not used to, I mean, I've mostly worked in children's media and children's television as an animator and as a filmmaker. A lot of my personal projects were a little more general audience, although I discovered they would still often kind of veer towards children. I made a film 2 years ago that I thought this was this really exciting experimental film, and I entered some film festivals and I kept getting put in the children's category. So I finally said, enough with this. I'm gonna commit. I need to reinvent myself. I love horror. And I just did it. So I don't know how I got into it. I mean, I've always loved it, but that for me, I think veering into it was just to try something different with my career, for sure, that I just wanted some recognition that wasn't literally for in like a preschool category. And it's been fun. I really like the reaction that I get when I show people my horror film, because it's very different than when you show someone something meant for children. I've discovered it's very rewarding. So I find it a really rewarding medium to work with, and I plan to do it some more.
Amy, you're up.
All right. I was raised Catholic. I'm not religious anymore. Those Bible stories are downright terrifying. Also, on a family weekend trip when my brother and I were 12 years old, excuse me, we visited an aunt in Kingston, New York, and she said, oh, honey, this author writes scary stories, and she handed me Cujo and Pet Sematary by Stephen King. So I was warped at a young age, and I haven't read all of Stephen King's novels. I don't know if that's possible for, unless you don't work and you're rich and you can just, hole yourself up in your apartment or your house. And I've always had an overactive imagination, always loved to read. So that's how I got started writing horror.
Awesome. Becky, what about you?
Yeah, mine starts with religion too, in a weird way, Amy. So I know the age I was because I found the occult section at the local, I grew up in New Jersey. I'm wearing my New Jersey t-shirt. I live in Chicago now. In the Flemington Mall in New Jersey, I went to the bookstore every Wednesday with my dad after Hebrew school. So I know that I was under 13 because I had my bat mitzvah right before I turned 13. So probably when I was 12, because I had two younger sisters. And it was one of the only times I had alone with either parent, really. And so after he picked me up, because the other ones, we couldn't go home right away because they were being put to bed, because it was about 8 o'clock. So we went to the bookstore and he let me wander it, and I found the occult section. And in the occult section, I found V.C. Andrews, and that was the end for me. So, and I just kept going to the occult section, and I thankfully had a family that he didn't buy us a book every time. He didn't buy me a book every time, but if there was a book I wanted and I'd said I'd finish the other one, once in a while I'd get a new book. I went to the library a lot also, all the time. But this is where they didn't have an occult section at the library. There wasn't a section like that. And my dad read Stephen King, so I knew who Stephen King was. But then as I kept getting older, and I realized I was going into the library field, when I was in library school and then got a job doing Reader's Advisory, which is helping people with their leisure reading needs through the library, I got asked to, by ALA Editions, to write the first edition of the Reader's Advisory Guide to Horror. And my professor from library school, who knew I liked darker stories, suggested me. And I ended up co-writing the first edition. And then the person I wrote it with went on to do other things in the library fields. And I've written 2 more editions since. So I have, by default, become the horror world's library expert. And along the way, I read tons of fiction to review it. So I have a really good sense of what is out there. So I like to say I don't write horror. I have no desire to write fiction. I write about it. And that's scary enough, especially these days. So.
Very good. Curtis, what about yourself?
I just kind of grew up around it. I grew up on like video store horror, and that was what I did for entertainment. Is it from, I don't know, the age of 9 or 10, just go and get horror movies from the video store and such. And I grew up on comics, like darker comics too, like started off probably with like Ghost Rider and that kind of Marvel stuff, went into Tomb of Dracula and, kind of horror comics like that. And then I listened to a lot of darker music. I was big into death metal and black metal and horror punk. And so I just, I played in bands for a while and I wrote darker music. And when I decided to start writing fiction, it just kind of gravitated towards that. Even, I wrote some superhero stuff too when I first started doing comics, but even that was on the darker side of things. And then I realized that was just kind of what I was good at and what I was naturally inclined to do and what people responded to. So
Awesome. And that, let's see, that brings us to Christina.
I think for me, like Curtis, it was sort of ongoing as a kid. I don't really have a moment where it clicked for me. I was always interested in writing and reading, especially things with a speculative fiction element to them. For horror, definitely some of the classics drew me in: R.L. Stine, Christopher Pike, L.J. Smith. A lot of the horror movies. I remember, I don't know if you guys remember, Are You Afraid of the Dark? I think it was on Nickelodeon.
Oh yeah.
Obsessed with that, like always waiting for Saturday to roll around or Friday, whatever night it was.
Because it's the best.
Yeah, it was so good. And Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and any of those classics.
Oh yes, Nick, I remember that.
Right, so good. And I don't know, reflecting, I guess, as a kid, I was pretty anxious. So something about horror was very cathartic, especially kind of YA horror. So that always stayed with me. And I've always loved sci-fi as well, and science. I was almost a scientist. So now I just kind of put that knowledge to writing sci-fi horror is kind of my favorite spot.
Fun fact, almost exactly a year ago, and Rob knows this because he was there, sort of virtually, Syosset Library hosted DJ McHale in a general Q&A about Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, Throwback Thursday.
Yeah, it was super, super fun. And he is like a really, really nice guy. So I think there's actually a video of it. I think if you go back far enough.
You can see it, it's definitely on the Facebook like videos. I don't know if it's on our YouTube.
But yes, that was fun. And he was just very open to asking questions about it. But Rob, that's you're up.
All right. Similar to Curtis and Christina, I grew up with horror. My dad mostly. We watched horror a lot. I think I saw Jaws for the first time when I was like 3, and it's my dad's favorite movie. So like we always watched it, and Halloween and all of that stuff. And I was actually going through stuff because I'm getting ready to move. I was going through some of my old material that like my dad held on. My dad passed away, so like I basically inherited all of his stuff to kind of go through, and I haven't done it yet. But he held on to like some of my I used to draw comic books as like a little kid, and one of the first horror things I ever did was The Breakfast Club Meets Dracula. So I just found that, and he held on to that, so I was like, sweet. So I guess that was like the first horror thing I ever did. But yeah, so it was like always there as like a little kid, and then I started writing it when he passed away. So like I wrote, and then I didn't write for a long time, and then I started writing again. So yeah, it's always been there. Horror's always been there.
I want to read that, Rob. Rob, I want to read that.
I want to read that too.
So do I.
Yeah, me too.
It's heavy on Anthony Michael Hall because he was my favorite.
Stacy, do you want to take this next question?
Yeah, we have another question from Anna, and I'm just going to apologize in advance because I have the hiccups. And they ask, what's your favorite horror property, book, movie, etc., everything involved in that?
Does anybody want to jump in, or should we just start alphabetical order again?
Nightmare on Elm Street for me.
Curtis, you stole mine.
Nightmare on Elm Street is what really like solidified me as like a lifelong horror fan. I don't know, I think it's the mixture of like the kind of trippy fantasy element, in like anything could happen. Yeah, that has been like an obsession of mine my whole life, and I've been trying to track down some of the novelizations. Like Jeffrey Thomas did one that I really want. I love Jeffrey Thomas's writing, and he did one, but it's like, I don't know, you find it on eBay for like $1,000 or something stupid like that because it's out of print.
Wow.
For me, it was also Nightmare on Elm Street. When all my friends liked some of the, like, you know, the Friday the 13th and Halloween, I enjoyed that there was a definite speculative element in Nightmare on Elm Street. There's fantasy there. So there was more room for, like I think Curtis said, anything could happen, and it made it more terrifying to me. And I was obsessed with those movies. I still remember being at someone's house in the Poconos, watching that in the summer. And we had like one video store near where we all lived. And like we raced out on our bikes to get the next, like the second one. We were so excited.
Actually, I prefer the second Nightmare on Elm Street to the first one. I know it's like, that's crazy to say that. I know that's like sacrilege, but I, in terms of like horror movie property, for me, Halloween, I love Michael Myers so much. I have multiple masks. It's like, it's stupid that I have them. Like I literally just put them on old, like Arizona iced tea containers that are filled with beads, so they hold their shit. It's so stupid. But yeah,
not stupid, it's awesome.
Excellent. Yeah.
So I have a lot of that stuff, and I've been Michael Myers like 4 times for Halloween. We used to put on a haunted house like at my house growing up, and I would always be him and just like walk around and stuff. It was always a lot of fun. But yeah, in terms of franchise for movies, definitely Halloween. But book, if I could do a comic book, I really love Joe Hill's his whole thing that he did with DC. I thought was really great, giving a lot of writers, I think it's called Hill House. Or yeah. I thought that was really great, and a lot of interesting stories there, including one that was adapted for Creepshow, which has actually been the best episode of Creepshow, the one about the dollhouse or whatever, which was incredible. But yeah,
was that the one that Josh Malin wrote?
Yeah.
Yeah, that the cinematography in that episode was so perfect for like that small budget and everything. Like it just really worked well with what they had.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I wish every episode of the new Creepshow was like that.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, I would say those 2 properties for sure. I really want to get into the Skip and Spectre horror adaptations that they've done. Like I know that they did the one of Fright Night, and that's supposed to be incredible. I've never seen it anywhere to buy, so that's one that I wanna. What was that?
Oh, sorry, I was coughing.
Oh, that's something I want to get really badly. A friend of mine has it, and he gives me books all the time, but I don't think he's ever going to give me that one.
That's awesome. Anybody else?
I just want to throw in the Aliens trilogies. So
Thank
good.
you. I was
rewatched
waiting for
them
someone
recently.
to say that.
So
Yes.
good.
Stacy's dog is named Ripley, so.
Our
Nice.
cat was named Ripley.
Oh, yeah, she's
That
Ripley.
and
She was going to be
also
Ellie, but
Poltergeist and Ghostbusters are the ones I always rewatch.
I love Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, Ghostbusters. Would be remiss if we
Great.
didn't mention Ghostbusters.
I was in it's funny you mentioned like I was in a workshop over the summer, and the guy running the workshop was like, can anybody name a horror comedy movie that's actually scary? And I was like, Ghostbusters. I was like, Ghostbusters is actually very scary. If you take the laughs out of that movie, it's terrifying. And everyone was like, oh yeah, it is. And he was like, yeah, it is. You're right. So I was like, all right, score one for the good guys. But
I was thinking about Ghostbusters recently and how it was kind of really my first introduction to cosmic horror in a way.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
I was supposed to say probably mine too, right? Yeah.
Probably all of us, really, right? Like with the Gozer worshippers, and Gozer essentially being a stand-in for the great old one, or a great old one in a sense, or whatever.
That is so true. I had never thought of it like that before.
yeah.
And it's really, it's kind of cool too. It's like a testament to how smart Dan Aykroyd is, because he's such a horror nut. And the idea of him taking something like, almost, Lovecraftian and cosmic or whatever, and giving that to us in the 80s, it's like it's so weird, and making it palatable for people,
Were you watching the movies that made us on Netflix?
My wife made me watch
that. Yeah.
I was watching that episode of Ghostbusters, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it, but
it's great.
One.
That episode's great, and the Jurassic Park episode is great.
Oh, I didn't get to the Jurassic Park.
I haven't seen that one, yeah.
But they did Back to the Future also.
The Back to the Future one is fabulous.
Yes.
Jurassic Park is strange to me because it's like, and I just saw I just watched the Suicide Squad on HBO Max. I watched it the day it came out because I'm a nerd, but.
Oh, I did too. It's okay.
It's so good. And but like I'm looking at King Shark, and then it's like I watched the movies that made us, and I'm like, that was like 1991, 1992. It's like, how does nothing look better than the T-Rex or the Raptors in Jurassic Park now? And it's like 20 something years later, and it's like, or 30, it's almost, what is it, almost 30 years later, and nothing looks better than that. It's so crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's not a lot of CG in there, not as much as you think.
Oh.
Animatronics and good editing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's so funny. Is everybody going to see the Ghostbusters? Does everybody think that looks good? The one that's coming out?
I do. I'm pretty excited for
I'm
it.
gonna see it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
I mean, I'll see
It looks fun. Definitely.
I like that they
Stay Puft Marshmallow Men.
Yes,
big part.
Oh, yeah, the mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Men in the trailer. Yes.
They want some of that. They want some of that Baby Yoda money.
That's a good point.
You find something nostalgic, and then you make a baby version of it, and everybody loves it.
I think it's cool that it's Jason Reitman doing it, and Jason Reitman said for years that he never wanted to make a Ghostbusters movie, and I think he had a quote where he was like, "This is my opportunity to tell my dad a story." So I think that's really kind of sweet. But also I know, like, if you look at Jason Reitman's IMDb, he hasn't really had a hit in a really long time. So he could use
use that Ghostbusters money.
Yeah.
I like how the young girl in the trailer, she looks like a mini Egon, and I love it.
I love at the end of the trailer when Ray gets the phone call at Ray's Occult. I was like, oh my God, he's really in it.
I just was wondering, the question I had for her, I was watching it with my son, and I'm like, how are these kids like not aware of their ancestry or whatever? Like, how are the Ghostbusters not world renowned? And like in the second one, they were like, oh, the first movie was a hoax or whatever, but like this happened twice.
Yeah, I was thinking something similar. I'm like, how long can this joke keep going? Like,
yeah.
I mean, if you think about what happened in the first movie, like you can't really explain that stuff away completely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it makes the original ideas that they had for the third one, where it's like a franchise kind of thing, that makes sense because clearly that's the way it would go, and that's how the cartoon even went with Extreme Ghostbusters. So it's like, well, just do that. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited to see the kid from Stranger Things and the girl from Haunting of Hell House or whatever, Hill House, whatever, bust ghosts. But
I think it'll be fun, and I think it'll be good for younger kids too, because like my son is huge into Stranger Things. I love Stranger Things too, but like I think there's a lot of younger horror fans that can be drawn into it and maybe go back to the older movies more too. So I think it'll be good for the community at large. Has
your son seen the original Ghostbusters?
He has. He loves the original Ghostbusters as well, but he's definitely more into Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Has he seen Goonies?
He's seen Goonies. He liked Goonies.
It's funny. I was going to bring up Goonies, Jessica, because I showed my kids that movie before even anything else, because that's creepy too.
Well, that's that's the thing. Like, I feel like Goonies, I forget who I was talking to recently, but we were talking about Goonies kind of being like horror adjacent. And they said, we're talking about like It and Goonies and how they're kind of similar. And someone was like, oh, I'd like to see Stephen King's Goonies. I'm like, I feel like Goonies is just in and of itself that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's its own entity.
My kids, I showed them the Goonies when they were probably too young for it. And then I remember one of them trying to show their friend, and their friend had to like turn it off. Like it was too much.
Oh,
And she's like, this movie's great. What's wrong with you?
It's interesting because I know I spoke with Becky about this at one point when you were talking about Ghostbusters being like an introduction to cosmic horror. I feel like now with Gravity Falls
Like
is
so good. I put it in my book as a much watch for horror fans. Yes.
I mean,
it's such a good introduction to cosmic horror. It's just perfect.
It is. And it's like, you've got a storyline that's not 100% tied into that. But then when you look back and you realize what's going on, you see it in everything, which is so much like that. So, and you have the summoning of a nightmare demon. I mean, come on.
And
it's also great for the whole family. It's for the whole family to watch together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I'm gonna have to watch it like real soon.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either.
It was on Disney. I imagine it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's a cartoon, and it's basically like Scooby-Doo cosmic horror together, sort of.
Oh, I love Scooby-Doo.
And it's family. There's like a lot of family. It's good.
There is a little crossover with Rick and Morty there too.
There's a tiny one.
Oh wait, really?
Yes, there is.
Oh,
there's like a
nice.
portal that opens up in like some stuff from the Mystery Shack pops up in an episode of Rick and Morty. That gets sucked through a portal in an episode of Gravity Falls. There's a book. They put out one of the journals from Gravity Falls, and my son has it. It has a lot of cool kind of lore in it. And some of it is fun, kind of, there's like the nightmare hipster, which is like Freddy Krueger with, spoons and stuff on his fingers.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
The nightmare hipster.
Oh, that's fun.
I'll have to look into that.
There's a Rick and Morty episode with
it was actually, it was like Scary Terry is like a different version of it is in the.
It's great.
Love it.
Well, I want to thank everybody. I know we only have a few minutes left. I want to thank everybody for doing this. And I want to thank all the horror creators for coming and being silly with us.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And thank you to Becky for Summer Scares and, starting this initiative, which kind of became a thread, like I got in touch with Rob, who was my connection at the HWA in New York, and then it sort of just branched out, and it's been great.
And just so you know, we're doing the Summer Scares. It's called Summer Scares, but we're using it to encourage reading of horror all year long with libraries, and it's grown a lot. So in fact, I just wrote my column for the Horror Writers Association newsletter. I have the column every September, the main column, because I'm also a board member. And in it, and I can announce this here, it's so popular. We're announcing, I'm not saying who it is, but we're announcing our 2022 celebrity spokesperson live on an event that's going to be streamed on Facebook and YouTube with the Chicago Public Library.
Oh, wow.
And it's an event where I'm going to be talking with Stephen Graham Jones, Alma Katsu, and Haley Piper, 3 current horror authors with newer books, either coming or just out. And we're just going to talk about horror. And at the end of it, we're going to announce the spokesperson. And since I have Stephen there, who's a former spokesperson, and Alma, who's a current Summer Scares author, we thought it'd be kind of fun to do that. And the interest in just doing it live is awesome. So we're just really excited to spread, horror across the libraries so that the library workers know to sell it, but also so the patrons have things to read from middle grade all the way to adults. So we're excited. And thank you, Jessica, for being one of the libraries that really ran with it this year. We've had a lot of interest, but you guys have really helped us push it through on social media too. So thanks.
Oh no, thank you. And once again, Rob says, can we guess who it is? Are there points for that?
No, it's super secret.
Let's not steal that
Although
thunder,
I will tell you, a certain person we were talking about who edited a certain collection that you mentioned before we went live, he knows who it is because he's on the board, but he is sworn to secrecy. But if you can twist his arm, maybe he'll tell you.
Well, on behalf of Syosset Public Library and Stacy and myself, I would like to thank Elisa, Amy, Becky, Curtis, Christina, and Rob, and read horror and watch horror. It's awesome.
Play horror video games so I could have more friends to play online with.
Right on.
Have a good night,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
Thanks for coming. Bye.